All right, Bitcoin Cash. This is just going to be an updated technical analysis. If you guys are enjoying these videos, please check out the playlist for the coin that you like. I try to do an analysis at least once a month. Okay, I promise I'm going to start doing more often, I should say. But this is Bitcoin Cash. In my last video, I spoke about Bitcoin Cash going to $155. Unless... okay, I did give a bull and bear case. It was going to 155 unless we got a reversal at the weekly external range liquidity. So this was the imbalance here that price reached into. We hit internal range. We went after external range here. And I said in that video that if price was going to go and seek liquidity, it would seek it below this fair value swing low to the left over here from February 19th, 2024. And you can see how on the week of April 7th, that did happen. And from there, we got a really nice reversal. And instead of going lower down to these areas I had marked out over here, price began going higher. I also said that from the daily perspective, I was not looking to be bullish on Bitcoin Cash until we got a close above 420. And well, 420 was the fair value swing high from the weekly. So let me just show you that. So this swing high right here from March 3rd, the high there being $420.30. We did get a close on the week of May 19th, which was that closed at $422.99. All right. So I'm going to get into that in just a second. But going back on the daily time frame, at the very end of my last update for Bitcoin Cash, I said that before things get bullish, you want to see a close, a strong close above this fair value swing high here from April 1st. And you want to see price come back, test that as support, and then look for it to push higher, all right, which we have done. Okay, looking at current price, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean this up just a little bit, and I want to go back out to the monthly, take a look at some price action here. So as of right now, I am going to take off these lower targets because the price just isn't speaking that right now. Right now, what's in the crosshairs to me is the high of Q1. So January's high, which sits at basically just $500 even. All right, the exact high is $499.99. All right, and as you can see, this current month is trying to reach for that. Going down to the weekly, last week we closed as a nice doji, right? So long wicks on both ends of the candle and a small body. You can see how this new week we opened up right in the middle of the range of the previous week. Okay, so the question is, all right, are we gonna go after previous week's low or previous week's high? In my opinion, I think that the low from April 7th is in, and to me this looks like price is ready to go after Q1 high. All right, so you have these down close candles here that have been supporting price ever since we broken above that and closed. It's possible we could still hit previous week's low, but I am on the side of Bitcoin Cash going higher as of the technicals. All right, so for those of you who hold Bitcoin Cash and invest in it or trade it, I would say that price is bullish right now. You have a lot of buy side liquidity above you. So you have previous week's high, that's one liquidity pool. You have January's high, which is also not just the high of Q1, but it's also a fair value swing high. So this imbalance right here, it's very small, I'll draw it out. This imbalance was once balanced out, right? So price offered fair value January 13th. And the reason why I'm pointing out the week of January 13th is because it was the highest point, right? So the very first time this gap was tested was the week of December 30th. And then the following week, we made a new high inside of this gap. And then the following week, January 13th, we made the highest point, okay? The very next week after that, we got a lower high. So that created a swing high within our key level. So this high is very important. There's a lot of buy side liquidity above it. As I drop down to the daily, if I just zoom out here, you can also see that above the Q1 high, we have this daily imbalance here that has not been tested, right? And it's got some equal highs that sit right under that as well. So a lot of buy side liquidity is present for price to go after. But when we look at what's happening right now, remember, we're just 2 days into the week at the time of this recording, and we're sitting in between the range of previous week's low and previous week's high. And price has dropped down into a volume imbalance here. And it can still go a little lower if it wants to reach into this order block here from the left. What I'd like to see in order for us to go higher is a sweep of Monday's low or Sunday's low, okay? So this current candle right here, this down close candle, well, red candle, it is Monday's low, and we have an hour and 25 minutes left in this candle. And then obviously the one before that is Sunday's low, which is the one that reached into this volume imbalance here. If I drop down to the 1 hour, right, you have some this range where you have these relative equal highs from Sunday and Monday, right? So the high of Sunday is very close to being the exact same high as Monday. Monday is just a little bit lower, but it's pretty much even, all right? And then down here where this solid black line is, this is Sunday's low, all right? Over here I have Monday's low. What I'd like to see Tuesday or Wednesday do is drop down to sweep either Monday and then go after these equal highs, or in a very big type of spike, you could see price come down to take out Sunday's low, and Tuesday or Wednesday will put in the low of the week and then go after these equal highs, and then it will make its way up to ultimately previous week high. Right. Which one is it going to sweep? I don't know. That would be for you to see where the shift in market structure is, whether it be underneath Monday's low or Sunday's low, or perhaps Sunday may be the low of the week and we could just start pushing up there, as the days go by. Preferably, if I was someone who was trading this, I'd want to see a sweep. I'd want to see sellers get into the market on the wrong side, and then price just shifts against them and then goes after their stops, right? But on a mid to long-term perspective, as of right now, I see price going after January's high. Again, that is at $500. I don't know how long it'll take, but that's what I see as far as a technical analysis. Just as I look at anything else, as I look at this, again, Q1 high up here at 500, another liquidity pool at 567. Who knows? We'll see. I do think that Bitcoin could drop back below 101,000. So perhaps if that happens, that could be where we could get that sweep of Monday or Sunday, or even worse, previous week's low before that move higher. So just keep an eye on that. That's my technical analysis for Bitcoin Cash. Nothing too crazy, but just pay attention to how we get to the extremes of the previous week's range.